is Democratic Senator Ed Markey, member of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. Senator, let's talk about, first of all, your reaction to these indictments, and the Papadopoulos plea agreement.
Well, this is clearly a major turning point in the investigation. Papadopoulos has pled guilty to lying about contacts with the Russian officials that were seeking to influence the presidential election in 2016. That is a clear major step towards creating this link, this collusion that may have existed in much larger form between the Russian government and the Trump campaign. So that Papadopoulos guilty plea is very significant. And similarly, Manafort and Gates had contacts with Russian-supported Ukrainian officials that could have as well compromised the election. We need more information about that. But this is clearly a major first step, and we have to make sure that the White House, that President Trump, does not fire Robert Mueller. Because that would be clearly something that he would be considering right now in order to shut down this investigation, which he has been trying to do from its very inception.
Well, in fairness, his lawyer at least is saying that he plans to cooperate in every way. So do you still have concerns that he might try to fire Robert Mueller or compromise the investigation?
Well, the president continues to argue that the whole Russian investigation is a hoax. And if he believes that, then it is pretty clear that he would seriously consider firing Robert Mueller. He would seriously consider giving a pardon to Paul Manafort or to Rick Gates. And either one of those actions would trigger a major constitutional crisis in the United States. And so I just think that we all have to understand that the president, if he's good for his word and he thinks that it's a hoax, is still reserving the right to engage in those kinds of activities. And then it will be basically the responsibility on a bipartisan basis for Democrats and Republicans in Congress to protect Mueller and to ensure that this investigation moves forward with all of the aggressiveness that Mueller has been giving to it.
Do you think you could get the votes? You're in a minority.
I think that there is strong bipartisan support for Mueller. That has been the case since the first day when he was announced. I think we've heard those kinds of sentiments from Lindsey Graham, from Tom Tillis, and from others in the Senate on a bipartisan basis. And I think that the Republicans would be hard-pressed to support a president who actually had fired the investigator who was in the process of documenting Russian interference in the selection of the President of the United States.
The president and his allies, as well as one news organization, have been focusing almost entirely on Hillary Clinton. The fact that the Clinton campaign did hire the firm that ended up producing the dossier through Christopher Steele, the former intelligence official, the intelligence agent from the British Intelligence Service, and also the fact that there was this uranium deal while she was Secretary of State. She has said that she had nothing to do with it. This was Clinton at the Human Rights Campaign gala on Saturday night.
It does strike me that in the last few days, at least Fox News seems to think that's where I live in the White House. Because they spend a disproportionate amount of their time talking about impeaching me.
So she went on to talk about the fact that she is being criticized when she actually lost the election. At this stage, do you think that there is a legitimate issue about what the Democrats did as well as what the Republicans arguably did during the campaign?
Look at what Donald Trump is doing is he's just throwing out all of these red herrings about Hillary Clinton. As a matter of fact, there are so many red herrings the president has been putting out over the last 2 or 3 days that we probably will have to have an aquarium to put all of these red herrings in. But it's all clearly intended to get away from the central point that there has been a guilty plea and 2 other indictments which have been brought down here today, and the president is just throwing out Hillary Clinton as red meat to his base in order to give himself some kind of core support. But ultimately, this whole issue is just going to continue to return to the Trump campaign and the Trump White House. What did they know, and when did they know it, about Russian interference in our elections?
Senator Ed Markey coming to us from Boston today. Thank you so much. And coming up,